Welcome, paranormal enthusiasts, to this week's episode of Creepin' It Real, here on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network, where everyone comes for their paranormal fix. Real people, real stories, in real time. So glad you could join us for some ghostly gab. I'm your host, Eleanor Wagner. Welcome, paranormal enthusiasts, to this week's episode of Creepin' It Real, here on the Coast to Coast Entertainment.
Hey there, as always, I appreciate you hitting the subscribe tab, follow button, or show app on your podcast of choice. Everybody give a hello shout out to our Coast to Coast techie, Crispy Bacon. He'll be working hard tonight to help us run smoothly. I've got a special surprise in store this week. I'll be sharing the platform with my co-host, Nick Davies. Here he is.
Hey guys, excited to hear some interesting stories and be with you.
Yeah. And I'd like to have you join me in welcoming McInville Paranormal's Donna Gerron and Anna Gerron and medium Michael Gilpin. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Welcome aboard. Thank you for joining me today.
No, my pleasure.
Hi, Anna.
Hi. Temporary booted out.
And here comes Michael. Hey, Michael.
Hello.
Well, thank you for having me on, or us on.
You're so welcome. I appreciate you joining me. Well, how did you ladies all come together to do this paranormal thing with one another?
It's kind of a funny story, I guess. Well, I've always been interested. So back in Illinois, I would go on ghost tours, and it's always been something that's within me. And when I came to Arizona, I saw our admin, the lady that's our admin, she had advertised that they were looking for investigators for it. Then it was Global United Paranormal Foundation. So I hit her up, and then like 3 weeks later, my sister was like, "Hey, can I go with you guys?" I was like, "Sure." We ended up going to a cemetery here, and she was like hooked. And then I put out an ad that I was looking for people, and then Michael responded. We met up, and then it was just like instant karma. So
Definitely.
It was just.
Now, Michael, I know you're a psychic medium. Have you been aware of this since you were a child? Has it been something that you discovered recently, or what?
Since I was 4, and I have other gifts as well.
What are they?
A whole slew of them. So I'm an indigo and starseed, so I do remote viewing. I see what I call dream pictures, or pictures around people that have meanings. If you look up Carl Jung, he did dream analysis, so I can do that. I do psychometry. I can channel. I see auras. Yeah, a lot.
Sure sounds that way. And who came up with the name McInville Paranormal?
McInville Paranormal is named after our founder, Eldon McInville.
Mm-hmm.
So he was one of the original founders of Global United Paranormal Foundation. 2 of the founders end up leaving, and then he rebranded and formed McInville Paranormal.
Ah, gotcha.
So I started out as an investigator, and now I'm team manager. I moved up in the ranks.
There you go. And you go investigating how often?
Well, we kind of took a break this summer. July was like the hottest on record. So we took a break this summer. At one point we were holding events like twice a month, where we were opening up, we'll go to a location and we were opening it up to the public, and we were holding public events. Right. So we've been going, at least twice a month. So we just did one, Northern Arizona. It wasn't an event. We haven't done any events. Like I said, it's been too hot, but we did an investigation up in Williams. We're doing another one September 1st, 2nd. We're going to Tombstone in Gleason, which is down southern Arizona. So we're going to try to get some investigations in and get some footage, because we do have a Roku channel. So I want to get some footage out on the Roku channel.
Gotcha.
The Paranormal Family channel, yeah.
See, co-host, this is a young kid right here. He's really into the paranormal and wants to go on an investigation. So I invited him to co-host.
Oh, cool.
what it's all about. And now that I'm in North Carolina, he's going to want to come out with me. So
Oh yeah. Excited.
Hey, once you start it, you're gonna get hooked. Like I said, I started out just doing ghost tours, and I'm like up to here. I'm all the way in now.
Really?
You got a lot of haunted history in North Carolina. Like, I would love to go investigate North Carolina.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of stuff. Just reading up. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah. Very much
There's
so.
one place, this one name, I can't. It escapes me right now. It's
Dorothy Dix Park?
No, it's a cemetery. I actually kept a photograph of it. I came across it, when people are posting stuff on Instagram, and somebody had posted this cemetery in Raleigh, and I'm like, gotta save that location for when I'm down there. So
There you go.
So that I could go. So
So,
but you
Nick,
guys
are you in North Carolina?
Yeah,
Nick.
so me?
No,
Or
Nick. Is in North Carolina.
No, I've
Yeah.
been here for 5 years now.
Yeah,
Ah, okay. So yeah, you'll get to hang out, go do some.
Yeah.
stuff.
that's right. And
Awesome.
he's been waiting for me to move here, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, you guys have done a couple investigations that warranted some good evidence, and I know the first one you were talking to me about was the American Flag Ranch in Oracle,
Mhm.
Arizona. And Chris is going to hook up a picture of that building. There you go, for everybody to
Yep.
see it. PC credit to the American Flag Ranch website. It was built in 1877 by Isaac Lauren after he established mining claims in the Campo Bonito and American Flag area. It is believed to be the oldest existing territorial post office in the state that is still standing. And it's now on the National Register of Historic Places. What's so special about this location, paranormal-wise, ladies?
Well, I don't think they've had a lot of people investigate it, so we didn't really have a whole lot of history on it. But it's the people that manage the American Flag Ranch also manage the Oracle Historic Society. So they have both buildings. So we were like, okay, so we're going to go to Oracle and we're going to do the Acadia Ranch. So it was like, hey, so can we do American Flag Ranch too? He was like, yeah, I haven't really had a lot of paranormal people there. I was like, okay. So we didn't really have a whole lot of history on it. But like I said, it's an old post office, and it's been there forever. But really, really cool place. It's really cool.
Sometimes it's good to get into locations that are not visited as often by the populace, because you're less likely to get something happen when it is overcrowded. So if you go to a place that's not known to too many people,
right,
the spirits are taken by surprise and actually surprise you with their interaction. Because I know you were saying something about you get a lot of really good EVPs, which I think is great evidence. EVPs are wonderful.
Yeah.
In this day and age now, with videos and photographs, it can be so manipulated. It's less likely that that'll happen with an EVP.
Right.
And I've just experienced EVPs, and when I know it personally, oh my gosh, it happened.
Yeah.
I'm not out to convince anybody anyway.
Yeah.
If you have something, I'm going to listen to it and I'm going to appreciate it for what it is. Some people are out there and going, oh, that's fake. But if I've had it happen to me and I know it happens and I've heard it for real,
yeah,
there's no doubt in my mind when this stuff happens. When this shit happens, you just know
exactly
that you actually heard something. And a lot of the times when I was just lady ghost busting, it was just ladies, and we've had male spirits voices come through on EVPs. It was just the coolest thing. It was really cool.
I did have one. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know what happened to it, but we were in Gleason. Gleason's 12 miles south of Tombstone. And I had what we call it a hack radio. It's kind of like a spirit box, but it doesn't have all the interference like a regular spirit box does. Mm-hmm. And I heard this male voice, and I go, what was that? And when I went back to listen to it, there was this male voice that said, "You're amazing." And you can hear him go, "What was that?" And he goes, "Yeah."
Do you know what an EVP is?
I was about to ask, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actual voices, a spirit's voice on an audio recorder. Right. So you could use your phone even, and you can just record the session. People are getting crazy things on their phones nowadays.
And you just kind of go back and listen, and
yes,
that's
You
9
go
times
back
out
and
of 10,
listen.
you're not going to hear it. Like the
Right.
ones that I sent to Eleanor, I didn't hear it at the time that it happened. But when I went back to
Until you listen back
Oh,
later.
I
video
bet it's
or
such
the
a
audio, that's when I can hear it.
yeah.
The one I sent you from American Flag Ranch, I was sitting here in my room, and when I heard it, I go, "Holy shit!" My son was
You
like,
get so
"What?
excited.
What is this?"
So you want to tell the audience what it is that happened and what was said and what you got on audio?
Yeah, so we were holding a public event, and there was a young lady. She was there with her dad. He had two of his daughters with him, and she was holding a video camera. So she was walking around. She was following me with the video camera. So we went to go into the back room of the American Flag Ranch, and I started to ask questions. I was like, "Well, I know somebody here. Is there somebody here that wants to talk to us?" And then you hear, "No." It's like
Pretty creepy.
But like I said, I didn't hear it at the time until I went back and watched the video. So yeah, it was,
That's the sad part about it. Unless you have an audio recorder that you could listen to right there and actually respond to their
Right.
response. Otherwise, you don't hear it and you feel bad because you want to respond, but it's already too late.
Exactly. And like I said, this was on the video recorder. So yeah, I didn't hear it.
So,
And
Chris,
what's so great that well, I'll tell the story about the YMCA because that's funny.
I don't know if you wanted to play the clip that I sent you.
I was just going to have Chris to do that. That's the first one I sent you, Chris. So play that for the listeners, and then we can talk to Michael about the YMCA. That's if we didn't lose Chris.
Right.
Just so the audience knows, we are experiencing technical difficulties. So please stand by.
While we're waiting on that, there was another. I was on the porch of the American Flag Ranch. Again, the young lady had the video camera, and I was sitting there. I was fooling with an audio recorder, trying to get it. It was one of the new ones, so I wasn't quite used to it yet. And you see me turn, but I didn't hear this at the time. And when I went to watch the video, you can hear Donna, but it was a loud whisper. But I turned like I heard it, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "Well, that was cool."
That they knew your name.
Yeah.
I think that's
introduced
wild.
ourselves doing it. At one point, some of us introduced ourselves. So yeah. It was
Okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they know your name and you didn't do that either.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Well, I think we might have lost Chris.
Okay. Yeah.
And the show still must go on.
That's
so,
right.
Oh, wait, here it comes.
There he is.
All right.
There it is.
No,
I'm not hearing it.
I'm not hearing it either.
Yeah, it's not coming through.
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that sucks.
But we believe you, Donna. We believe you.
Maybe I can put it up on my phone. Hold on a second. Maybe I can get it.
Power of modern technology. You can hear it, Chris, but we can't.
Maybe if I take my Bluetooth off. Come on.
Did you get the recordings on your phone, Donna, or did you use an audio recorder?
I put it on my phone so I can send it. So let's see. Let's see if I can get it to.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool. They definitely didn't want to talk to you.
Oh, yeah. It was an angry note. Yeah.
That's funny. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So, Michael, what happened at the YMCA that you were thinking about?
So the EVP, electrical voice phenomenon, we had recorders all over the place, didn't get anything, and we were leaving, and we all heard a laugh. Like, ha, you didn't get anything.
Yeah, it was a woman's laugh, and it was like she
Yeah.
was in the room with us. And we just kind of turned and looked at each other like, you heard that, right? It was like, yeah, she's laughing.
Yeah. She laughed us out of the building. Like, I could have, So sometimes you don't get anything, and then at the end, you could have a great experience like that with everybody, audibly hearing it, not catching it on recorder, but
Yeah, because we were putting all our equipment away. And everything
yeah,
was
exactly.
It happens.
Yeah.
I do a lot of presentation. I've written 4 books on true account hauntings in the community where I live. And because of that, I do a lot of presentations in front of audiences at the libraries and local rotaries and that sort of thing. And I try to explain to them that paranormal investigating can be quite boring. It's a social event for us because we're all hanging out, chilling in each other's company. But you could be there for like hours and have nothing happen.
And have nothing.
And
Yeah.
then you have to sit for hours listening through your
and
evidence.
just enjoy one another's company because something might not happen. But I have noticed that spirit actually likes to see and hear you having a good time. So if you're there and you're all laughing and stuff, we get some great stuff because they feel like they're part of the party, so to speak. But you can, it's not like these television programs where they make it sound like all this shit happens. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that you can go to a location and have some great stuff happen.
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's a hit or miss. It's a hit or miss. You never know what you are going to experience.
Right.
And I think a lot of the public doesn't realize that because these television programs try to make it sound like these investigations are eventful all the time.
No,
and they're not.
They're not.
They're not.
This past weekend, what we found that we've done in a couple of locations, like the old YMCA we were at, we would play, get on our phone and play like the music from the era. And sometimes we'll get hits on our K2s. The cat balls will light up, and that happened this past weekend. Kenny was playing some music from like the late 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, the K2 just
trying to bring back.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. My sister can tell you about her getting touched when we were in Clifton, Arizona.
Was that the first time you ever got touched, Donna, by a spirit, or?
Yeah, I felt something touch my butt. And there's no one behind me. I'm like, I know someone poked my butt.
Was that in the brothel?
No, it was an old hotel. It's the Clifton Hotel.
Well, old hotel.
Yeah, but there's a spirit of a little boy that was there, and we think it's the little boy that poked her butt.
Teasing you and messing with. Oh, that's funny. Aw.
Trying to get my attention, I guess.
Yeah, I can imagine that first time getting touched, freaking out. I mean, like I said to you earlier, my kid, the first time I ever took her out was at a cemetery, and she got her hair tugged and her jacket sleeve pulled, and
oh wow,
it freaked her out.
Yeah,
but I guess you kind of have to be prepared for that sort of thing.
Yeah. I took one of my twin boys with me. We went on a ghost tour, and he had a lot of personal experience. He had never been ghost hunting before or on a ghost tour. He had a lot of personal experiences, and he just was freaking out. So I would tease him when I would go. I was like, Leroy, you want to go with me? He goes, fuck no. I was like, come on, go with me. He looked at me like, whatever, I'm not going with you. He got touched, and y'all just got all kinds of stuff. It was funny to me, but he didn't find it funny.
He didn't find it funny. What were you going to say, Nick?
No, I was just going to say, like you guys are saying, like, what are you exactly looking for? Because I know, like, for me, I'm new at it. I'd be lost. I wouldn't know what signs to look for, or just what to expect.
Yeah, you kind of when you're doing an investigation, or especially when you're going over evidence, you have to really pay attention to what's around you. Like I was looking at the video from Saturday, and it took me a couple of times to rewind it because I thought I might have saw something, and because it was really faint, but it was a moisture sensor light that I set out. And then you can faintly see the light, and then it faded off. I was like, wait a minute. I kept going back and forth. I was like, that's the motion sensor light. It was picking up something. So I was like, okay. So
people catch a lot of stuff on their cameras now.
Oh yeah.
The house cameras and stuff. I have people sending me stuff. Oh my gosh, look at I got on my camera, on the house camera.
Yeah,
So,
but it's
yeah.
tedious. It takes, I'm not a big fan of spirit boxes. I don't know if you are familiar with spirit boxes,
Sure.
Nick. I'm not a big fan of them, but I have one. Like I said, it's a hack radio that doesn't have all the interference it does from the radio stations, so it's a lot more quieter. But Saturday we were doing some EVP sessions, and I've been told that I'm a sensitive, so it's something I'm coming into, I guess. So I was getting this headache. I was like, get out of my head. Whoever's messing with me, get out of my head. Something came across the spirit box about my head.
Okay.
So Rianne, the medium that was with us, she was like, "You heard that, right?" I go, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, there's a gray cat in here. Who has the gray cat?" And
Mhm.
there was a voice that said, "Not me." And then right behind it goes, "Oh, the old lady." We were like, "That's freaking awesome." So yeah, but you have to pay attention, because like I said,
Yeah.
that'll happen. If you're not paying attention, you'll miss it.
You can.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
what's
literally.
cool, Nick, if you have a medium on your team, what we can do to assist them is say, I feel a female presence, or this was such and such, lady fell down the stairs, building on fire. So that can help them in communicating with
Mm-hmm.
spirit, as well. So as far as what you're saying, what do you look for? Well, sometimes as mediums, we point the way. If you don't have a medium on your team, somebody is a sensitive, so they can sense when there's cold, and that's what you're looking for. If you go into a building, preferably not in the wintertime, but you'll still feel that cold, coldness. You get chills, hair stand. That's all sign of spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Or yeah,
I'm sure it must be so exciting to like feel something or see something. That must be super satisfying just to know that something's there.
I think
Yeah,
every time.
especially when everybody's picking up on it. We walked in this one room and everybody's like, "Look at the chill bumps," and it's like, "Yeah, I've been to it." And the hair standing up on your arms, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how I got into this, but I'm just so into it now. My people at my job are like, "What did you do anything this weekend? What you got? What you got?" They're like listening to my stories.
And I like to say that everybody's got a piece of the puzzle that fits
Mhm.
when you're with a group of people. Just
Yeah.
somehow, energy, that communicative energy, things can happen, and everybody's got a piece of the puzzle that just fits.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we're a great puzzle. We fit together.
That's good. When you got a
Yeah,
good team,
we're a lot of fun.
that's all you need. That's right. I know you did an investigation, and I thought this was pretty cool because, well, the terror trader in
Mhm.
Mesa, Arizona. PC
Mhm.
credit to the terror trader website and Aaron Bates. It doesn't look like much of anything from the outside, but this is Arizona's only year-round horror marketplace, showcasing the coolest products from over 70 local artists. And they say they have fun photo ops and scary stuff. And it was voted best scary stuff, filled with
yeah.
dark antiques and collectibles. To be honest, like I said, it doesn't really look like much paranormally from the outside. So what's the story behind the hauntings here?
I probably should have sent you photos, and I apologize, I didn't think about it, but that store is so freaking cool. So
Really?
what he has items in there that are cursed. He has cursed items.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dedicated to that.
So he sells
Ah,
movie horror stuff. The mask and the socks with the horror themes on it and T-shirts and all
right.
that. But he has a lot of stuff that's not for sale that are cursed objects, like a
Oh.
cursed Ouija board and let's see what. Oh, there was wasn't it a human skull, Anna, that he had that moved on the display? I think it was an original. Yeah.
Yeah, he captures a lot of stuff on the security cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, that's what I was saying to you before. Security cameras capped a lot of shit.
Yeah. So my sister saw one of his posts on Instagram, and she had messaged me about it. She was like, "I wonder if he'll let us investigate." I was like, "You know what? I think I'll ask him." And I sent him a message. He was like, "Oh, sure." So he let us come in and do an investigation, and it was pretty cool. We got hits on the cat ball. and I'm in the front of the
cat
store.
Oh, I got to tell Nick about this.
Oh,
The
go
cat
ahead.
ball is a simple cat ball toy.
It's
There's
a
this
cat
toy
toy.
that you can buy for cats. It costs like next to nothing, and it lights up. And cats love to play with it because when they roll it, the lights go off.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we use the simple tools when you're on an investigation. You take the cat toy out and you put it on the floor, and if it starts moving and lighting up, then you know it's
Wow.
Yeah, and something's touching it. Yeah, it's like I said, it costs little to nothing.
yeah.
And it's pretty cool. It lights up everything. You're like, oh, cat toy going off. And then my favorite piece of equipment, of course, is the audio recorder. So I'm in the front of the store, and there's a room there. He has a casket in there with like a fake skeleton or whatever it
Body.
is, but
Yeah.
it's actually held real bodies in it at one point in a mausoleum.
Oh,
In a
okay.
So he
That
has
is
that on
creepy. That's
display.
creepy.
Yeah, he's got these giant figures of the what is it? From what movie was it from?
Killer Clowns from Outer
Killer
Space.
Clowns from Outer Space. There you go.
Oh
And he's got
my
this
God.
huge of Killer Clowns.
Mommy, I gotta tell you this funny story about killer clowns. But go ahead, go.
So and then he's got all of these books and everything. So I'm in the front part of the room, and then that clip that I sent you, my sister, Stacy, Charlie, and the owner Jason were in the back of the store. So out of the blue, we hear this bang, 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 and we're all like,
Really loud.
it was
What the
really
heck?
loud. So I'm up front by myself, and I was like, "Is somebody knocking?" And they came around, and Jason took off out the back door because he thought somebody was trying to come in. He thought somebody was trying to come in the store because he had never heard that before. So we're
Wow.
we're scrambling around trying to figure out if somebody's making that noise, and it wasn't. There was nobody there. Loki. So
there was somebody there. You just couldn't see them.
You couldn't see them, but yeah, and it took a lot of energy for whatever that was to make those loud bangs. And then
Sure.
on his security camera, when he posted it, while we were there, you can see my sisters and Stacy's reaction, as a bang, because they kind of like stopped and moved out of the way, like, what the heck was that?
Ah.
So yeah, it was
kind
pretty
of
cool.
freaky. I'm like, no one's behind behind. It was like on the other side of the wall, and there's no one there. It's not. There's other businesses, but there's nothing on that other side where we
Yeah, it was
heard.
just like a storage room.
That was
Mm.
empty. That
Yeah.
part of it was empty. So we knew it wasn't another. You got to debunk too to see. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But we couldn't figure out what
You couldn't figure out what it was because it was.
it was. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So, but it's a
Funny
really,
story.
really cool store.
Funny story about the killer clown thing. I was a children's party clown for over 30 years.
Really?
Oh wow.
And, dating myself here, but when VHS was popular, I was going to see this doctor regularly, and he knew I was this children's party clown. And one day I show up, and he has a present for me, and it's the Killer Clown video on VHS, and he had all of these buttons with the clowns' faces on them. He
Wow.
goes, since you're a clown, you'll appreciate this. It's like, gives me the killer clown shit. And I to this day, I just remember because it was so funny. But that you mentioned the killer clowns from.
Are you done?
Is that Loki?
What was that?
Loki, her cat.
Oh,
He needs to clean me, apparently.
trying to
So,
get 15 minutes of fame. That's what he's doing.
yeah, he's cleaning me is what he's doing.
So since we couldn't hear the other clip, I don't know if we can hear the clip of the 3 knocks that we heard.
Yeah, if you have it, you have it on your phone that you can.
I have it on my phone. Oh, that's
Because
the
it came through really good when you did the other one. So this is your audio of those knocks that you
the
got.
knocks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Turn my phone up here.
Can you stop, please? Go lay down. Come on, go lay down. Okay, you're done. Go lay down. Come on, go lay down.
Hold on, all I can hear is Michael talking.
Okay, hold on, Michael. Let me go back. Yeah.
There you go. Pretty
I'm like,
cool.
you can hear me go, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So that
That
was
is.
pretty good. Yeah, we all just kind of scrambled
When you
like,
get something like that, you get really excited.
Yeah.
And people think you're crazy because you're jumping up and down, going, "I can't believe that just happened." But you wait for those moments. You wait for that
Yeah,
kind of thing to happen.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
Nick, this is what I say about paranormal investigators. I say we're like first responders. When everybody's running out the building, we're running in.
Well, put it this way: you know that they're really good paranormal investigators if they run to the fire instead of
Right.
away from the fire.
Has there been any particular investigations that have been like frightening for you guys?
Not as
For
of
me,
yet.
yeah.
At least not for me, no. I don't know. Michael probably has had some.
Well, that's the YMCA. Remember in the funeral parlor?
In the YMCA?
Remember where I got hit in the head?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. No, that was the Oracle. That was the Arcadia
Oh,
Ranch.
Oracle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was in a part of the room where it used to be used for basically funeral stuff. And I was just sitting in a chair, and all of a sudden I got this really bad headache, and walked out, and I had a lump on my head. And so I actually, because I wasn't feeling well, I actually went to the doctor the next day, and they're like, "Well, how'd you hurt your head?" And I'm like, "Oh, I ran into a wall." You know, you don't.
You don't want to fess up and say I was
Yeah,
paranormal.
because he goes, "No, you're fine, you're good." But yeah, it didn't like scare. It
Put you off guard.
when I get attacked, it doesn't really like scare me. It more like pisses me off sometimes. Like,
Well, yeah,
I can't believe you just have the audacity to attack me. Yeah.
Well, then there was the session we did a Esty session, remember? And
Oh,
that one, yeah. So we had to pull her out of that one. So you want to talk about that one?
Yeah. So I'm on the Etsy, and
I'm sorry. Do you know what the Estes is? The Estes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I know Nick probably doesn't, but okay. So Estes method is what you do. You have somebody to sit with some headphones on, noise canceling headphones. You get a spirit box, and you hook the headphones into the spirit box, and you blindfold them. So you blindfold them, and it makes their hearing. You know how you take away a sense, it enhances the other sense. So what you do, you go into like the other part of the room or the other part of the building, and you ask questions. Well, that person with the headphones on can't hear, and then whatever answers that they get through the spirit box, they say out loud. So that's what we were doing with Michael, and then she had an experience.
Yeah, so I was getting a lot of, after we looked over stuff, some of the stuff I was saying was actually true. But at one point in time, I got this vision of a little girl being shot point blank from a cowboy.
Oh.
And it was just like, it was right in front of me. Like, I witnessed this live, and
She's telling you how she was killed.
Yeah, I threw it off and said, no. And I started crying, and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm not sure.
It's like, pull her out.
So yeah, it was pretty intense.
Yeah, that building is crazy. I was in the medical room, and so at one point it was an old tuberculosis hospital. So it kind of changed. It was a few different things, but an old tuberculosis hospital basically. And I was in the medical room, and I'm sitting there by myself. I don't know why I decided to do that. But the door flung open, and I'm like, okay. But that happened before. But there was 3 of us in the room, and the door came open. We're expecting somebody to walk in, and nobody walked in. So this was sometime later that I was in there by myself. This was a whole different investigation, and the door came open again, and I'm like, but I caught footsteps on the audio report. So, something came to visit me. I was like, okay,
for sure.
So,
a little back room in Oracle, the one that looks like a
What's
When I
on
was
your
back
agenda for the months ahead? Because you have you stuff you used to kind of do it like twice a month or something. You said, right?
Well, that's what we were doing before it got hot, because you
it.
probably heard about Arizona summers, and July was
Yes.
one of
Yes.
for the entire month of Arizona. We had temperatures 110 above for the
Wow.
entire month of July.
Yeah, my husband's cousin keeps on saying he wants to come and visit us to get away from the heat. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're going to go to Tombstone on September 1st, and we're not doing any events right now. At least we haven't planned any. We were waiting for it to cool off a little bit, but we're just going to investigate Tombstone, and then we're going to go back to Gleason, which is 12 miles south of Tombstone. This is it's a ghost town basically, and there's the old jail there. It's just a 2-cell jail. It's they have a hanging tree there. It's a hanging tree. There's a couple of trailers there where some deaths had occurred, and that's where I called the EVP that told me I was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an old school building. They're in ruins now, but it's a really, really cool place. It's the old school. It's the hanging trees that they actually used to restrain people to this tree that were offenders, and the chains and the shackles are still
Really?
tree.
Oh boy, that's probably got some power.
And this tree is huge.
Oh yeah, it has amazing energy. I mean, it's just
absolutely.
And then there's a trailer where there's a lady that's supposedly buried in the porch. Her husband, she passed away, and her husband buried her basically in the concrete porch.
Oh boy.
But somebody had, I think the owner's daughter have a picture that they were snapping pictures of the structure and got a picture of her in the window.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
But but it's a really cool spot. So there's there was a couple of guys that kidnapped a couple of 13-year-old girls and raped and murdered them on the property. So there's a lot of energy.
Some history.
Yeah, a lot of history there.
Oh boy. Well, this was fun, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me today. I enjoyed our conversation, and thank you for helping my new little teammate.
Thank you for having me.
Along, and for you helping to co-host today.
Yeah,
I hope you'll come back and visit sometime again in the future when you have more stuff to talk about.
Oh, definitely. I'll keep you updated.
Absolutely. Thanks for having Loki and me.
Of course. It was a pleasure. And thank you, Techie Chris. We couldn't do it without you either.
Chris.
Back there on the sidelines. And listening audience, if you like listening to this week's episode and you're into all things paranormal, check out my other show, Eleanor Wagner's Strange and Scary World podcast out of the Paranormal UK Radio Network, which is available wherever you get your podcasts. If any of you are interested in reading any of my books, you can find the links to them on my website, authoreleanorwagner.com. I write about the history of the town and location, add the paranormal story to the mix, and finish it all off with photos and evidence. And I'm excited to share that I now have t-shirts available from both my Creepin' It Real podcast and Strange and Scary World podcast. Anyone interested in getting one of these, email me at authoreleanorwagner@gmail.com. Lastly, viewers, tune in on Thursday, August 31st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll be in for a special surprise for that show. Thank you again, and good night.
I hope you've enjoyed this little journey down my own personal nightmare alley. If you're one of those people who experiences the paranormal and has stories of your own you've been filing away over the years, I want to hear about them. And if you're a part of a paranormal investigative team, even better. I'd love to have you on my show. Got a questionable photo? Send it in. Would love to have an open discussion here amongst the professionals. Reach out to me at authoreleanorwagner@gmail.com. Enjoy our soundtrack music, Headless Horseman by Alexander Nakarada, promoted by freestockmusic.com. And remember, no ghost story is better than a real-life ghost story. Until we meet again, make sure you're creeping it real. I hope you've enjoyed this little journey down my own personal nightmare alley. If you're one of those people who experiences the paranormal and has stories of your own you've been filing away over the years, I want to hear about them.